Like clockwork, guys. You're watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton, joined today by Mr. Steele and my partner in crime, Klops. This is the lower bracket finals of CEVO-P Season 4. So glad you could join us. I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm
in
ready.
a world, one man, one desire.
You're the movie guy. I had no idea. You didn't tell me you had these talents. Armored up for both teams. We have four purchases now after that late buy nothing. 4 armors for the compLexity squad and 4 for Manajuma. Not a whole lot of flashes to be used and a whole lot of shooting to be done. The split in the opening is all for alt and mid, including one Hiko moving toward apps to control, and then probably split take and try to find some way to wrap. The first person that's going to figure this out is Irukandji. Shot and missed. We're going to come around and we're going to sit at the brackets, it looks like. There's not a whole lot of movement to be done. Look at the mini while we fight. We've had a pusher come down. Banana. It's the number 5 man, Desi. Here's a firing squad meeting Anger, and they got gunned down without a ghost of a chance to fight this one out. And sure enough, there's going to be another one. Sean Gares is down. It's Hiko versus everyone. Alive for just a moment there. Manajuma takes an easy 1 round.
It's going to be a devastating start for compLexity there. Manajuma picking up the counter-terrorist pistol, which is a great start for them. They actually rotated one off of B quite early, and that's how we saw them just kind of demolish mid there. They had already stacked 3 people on Arch side, and compLexity just ran straight into them and got one shot. We saw Shroud getting the early one shot, so good round by Manajuma picking it up.
We have a stack here and a charge. It's clearly that compLexity was waiting for a push. They got it. Irukandji came down with P90, and it really didn't matter that they had the CZs, though they win a lot of eco rounds. They just plowed through everybody with volume and numbers. Hiko's the last one alive. I got a PT50 with my name on it, no CZ, not a whole lot of hope. And take a look at the implications here. I was kind of trolling, but look at the money because they bought up armor, so that hurts a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he has the armor, and that's pretty much the most expensive thing he's working with there. But I mean, a minute 30 left in the round, it's going to be pretty much impossible for him to save that, and they'll just hunt him down. So yeah, I mean, that money is going to hurt, and we won't be seeing a buy obviously until the 4th round, and the 4th round buy is probably going to be light. I doubt we'll be seeing an op. So yeah,
you're going to need like a quad to get an op, and yeah, no, maybe a bomb plant. I could see a scenario like that.
Yeah, if the bomb plant does go down, I mean, it's possible, but
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. The push down from the CTs, they control all of mid by looking haystack, one in the window, and of course one by the bench, and they don't necessarily account for nothing just spamming with a Glock. If he had a headshot there, he would have done an instant 58 at that distance. I'm trying to do the deterioration math, it's hard. And dboorN is waiting really, really close. I'm surprised Anger's on top of that hay with nothing shooting him. He should have said that there's somebody out at the bench, right? Right?
Is that rhetorical?
It just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Shroud sprays down through the smoke and finds nothing. We just barely caught that one, and dboorN will join in the chorus again. Sean Gares is down 2 alive, Hiko and Semphis, and of course it's a full save. So we're not expecting a ton. We just kind of want to move on to the gun rounds, which we are arriving at now.
I'm just going to throw in there that this disrespectful play from Manajuma is what they need to do to kind of like, they have the confidence right now. They're not playing scared at all. But like traditionally on eco rounds, or anti-eco rounds rather, you play a little bit more passively. You don't want to throw away guns. But they just went straight on, like took the head-to-head battles and won them. So that's going to set a tempo, set a pace for the rest of the game.
Triple
also
nade.
not upgrading, sticking with FAMASes right here.
Yeah, has some economic implications. The FAMAS is still pretty good if you get up close. It's the spray that it suffers against the M4A4. That triple nade really didn't do anything, but Manajuma has controlled Banana, and they have for a while now. So they'll have to back out. compLexity they'll go back to the apartments, try to move through here, find a kill, potentially begin moving things here. But with so little space and so much map control, it seems as though 3 rounds in, Manajuma's, like Steele said, set a tone, and compLexity's playing uncomfortable already.
It does seem that way. I mean, like they said, with their aggressive play, you see compLexity is waiting basically, T-stairs and an alternate and just waiting for any type of pushes from Manajuma, which they did push up a little bit in B, which is, not abnormal, but now they obviously backed out, and compLexity is now finally setting up for their strategy, which looks like it's going to be going towards B.
All 5 players here in smoke moving into the banana. We can see this team moving forward. Look at the utility nades between all of them. They still have held on to 4 smokes, 4 flashes. You're about to see a set B take here, and I can promise you one smoke is going to be for CT. The rest, do they use them all? Some teams will leave a lane open to fire through, and this counter flashes, actually. Hiko sees nothing. The rest of the team comes pouring in, one to the playground, the barbecue, and Shroud is just so fast. Decapitates Anger on the trades. Irukandji trying to spray down while strafing. Managed to pick up a pretty lucky kill. 2 versus 3, and they still got one alive on top of the spools that they didn't account for. Manajuma is still perfect at 4-0.
That was a great hold coming in by Manajuma there. Great patience on the site. 2 players are already stacked in there, though, so, I mean, there was not enough map control presence from compLexity, and they never pulled off a rotator. But granted, they didn't really have the economy to buy too many nades and cause a bait or anything like that. But still, Manajuma kind of just getting the 2-for-1 entries. That's great. That's a great start to holding the B-bomb site, waiting for the rotations to come.
With the massive deficit in kills that I just showed the stream, 3 total, and no bomb plants that I can think of, there's not a lot to buy. Manajuma must know that they're on save. They travel together in case the CZs trade somebody out, but they don't fear compLexity. Not the way that some teams did before. And it's about to become grossly apparent that Manajuma is going to push them around until there's some sort of economy for them to respect, because there is none right now.
Yeah, and you just saw that with the aggressive play. compLexity was waiting at T-stairs and obviously had someone push up in B, but Shroud didn't care at all. Decided he wanted to go make the play, got the kill, and the rest of the team just followed in C, and they picked it up no problem, like you said. So now they'll probably go back to that passive play since they know compLexity has the money to pick up AKs, and still obviously no op because losing 5 rounds in a row.
They were just within range. They had that 6k buy, but they went with the utility nades, and I like that they have their composure. Instead of falling back and trying to go for single ISO'd picks, I think with the purchases that they have, they're going to try to set up for a set or set up for the A-Rap on the move, which the AK will benefit them. 3-2 is our standard CT split, but the migration of the number 5 player, desi from bombsite B, sits him at the speedway, and he'll wait to rotate toward A. He's thinking that he might need to help Shroud, because Shroud just took about half his HP in damage. Not you, but the entire team, iBuyPower, how does iBuyPower like to play Inferno? Like a 3-1-1 with somebody in that speedway, or a dedicated 3-2?
We mix it up a lot. Like, it's really good to have a default going on here. We're actually about to see some action down at mid by basically default play just working together, getting an entry kill, and then if you die, a trade kill, which is similar to how we play. We just want to kind of take map control, make sure you have apartments, make sure you have banana, and then from there, when you push the counter terrace back into the sites, that's when you can run your real strats, your real like bread and butter. But we are going to see a B split coming out here by compLexity. Actually, it gets not only shut down right there at Arch, but
oh god.
Manajuma knows exactly what's going on here.
That's right. Irukandji evened it up earlier with a double from the port side. That wrap to B, the long-range wrap to B from CT will never be. Now it's a 2-on-2. It's a matter of gunplay. With one at the new box, one at the barbecue. Desi seems to know the locations just purely on the virtue of the tracers, and Anger knows that his spot is compromised, so he's going to push through, and I love this play. Making the play when he has the chance. Nothing is down, but he's done some damage to Irukandji. 1 versus 1, Anger steps out by the construction, and I don't think Irukandji really has an inkling as to where he is. He jumps up in the air and eats a bunch of bullets, so compLexity has their first round after 5.
And there's a much needed round for compLexity. Actually, what they need to focus on right now is not losing this round. minikerr pulling out the op for the first time in this game, so we're going to see a little bit of an aggression down at middle, kind of working an opening pick there. But another thing that we have to notice is that Manajuma had a really narrow spread on kills there. It looks like everyone's kind of picking up a kill for themselves, so they're playing a very team-oriented, team-based pushes strats right now. I think compLexity needs to work on their individual kills at the moment. We saw that at middle. They walked at mid. They got the entry kill. I think they need to keep doing that right now if they want to kind of pick up more rounds. Just kind of individually on a default, go around, get some entry kills, and get some trade kills, and take some map control that way.
This round has
Yeah.
some... Go ahead.
Sorry, I just
Go
wanted
ahead.
Uh,
to add in. Actually, that entry was, I mean, it was nicely done by compLexity, but it was kind of at fault of Juma's because dboorN threw a high flash for minikerr to go peek, and the flash just went past the terrace, and they weren't blind at all, so that's why they were able to pick up minikerr right there so easily.
Oh, good observation. I was going to say that this round has some certain implications. I showed the money. I'll do it one more time. You lose this round as a CTs. Maybe you can force. Maybe depending on the kills, depending on the circumstances. But it could reset things. It could even the field for compLexity and give them back some momentum, some semblance of momentum. A counter smoke from desi will stop compLexity from pushing through, and that B take that they had set up, including the bomb carry, is somewhat thwarted. When this smoke dissipates, say 15 seconds from now, it's going to be very, very hard to fight your way into the site and get the bomb plant down. Wow! Okay, you pre-fire that corner. That wasn't even the pillar corner. That was the left corner. dboorN gets blown away. They may rotate toward, and instead, Manajuma has siphoned themselves off a quarantined 2-and-2 hold. Set in, the bomb is in the banana, and there's no commitment yet. Still 20 seconds to work with, and like we said, that smoke bought so much time for Manajuma. This seems damn near impossible now. And, oh no.
I'm getting a connection problem as well.
Us as well.
Same here.
Sad times. Oh, we're back. We're back. And
Oh.
someone died? Anger died.
Yep.
Shangers is putting his back to an Opera, which is tough times. Force plant with 6 seconds left. Somebody is surely going to descend on him. He got it off. That nade will probably kill him. And the side of the crate saves Shangers' life with 11 HP left. Irukandji's waiting for a rotator. He needs to fight someone out and get a easy one. Nothing has one. He has to know somebody's above him. And a turn. Nothing may clutch the round. Nope. Just a one-on-one. A one-on-two, excuse me. Pre-fired.
Around Shangers could have actually won. That was a great call by compLexity there. Once they got the kill on dboorN, they knew that Jumas was playing 2A, 2B. What they did is they sold a B fake. They just threw a couple of smokes and flashes over B. That basically kept the B players there. compLexity came back to A. Now, if whoever was in halls, I think it might have been Hiko was in halls against Irukandji. If Irukandji didn't get that kill on halls, that would have been another compLexity round right there. But Irukandji got that kill, kept apartment control, and then kind of played it really defensively until that retake right at the end in that 4 versus 2. So really well played by Irukandji and apartments there.
Very well played. His positioning was good, and he is obviously sitting at a 12-2. You'd normally celebrate that lot. That is an amazing achievement in a match like this, but his entire team is playing well. There's somebody at 7-2, 7-1. Like you said, team play at its finest. Set it for A, and the bomb carrier joins his teammates to split peek mid, perhaps, and it's a little bit mixed up as to whose assignment is which. They'll come out. They jump the art, so I'd skip a bullet. There's somebody in that closet. Irukandji's behind everybody, and he mows down 2. On the rap side is Shangers, who eats a bunch of M4A1 rounds. They're going to go for a suicide plant. Nothing is, and he's not going to get it off. 7-1.
Yeah, I thought compLexity was going to buy since they got that bomb plant, but I guess their economy was just too low. So yeah, they're only about 5,000 now, so they were hurting still. But either way, you saw minikerr had the op. He was peeking mid, didn't see anybody at T stairs, and the push up from everyone at banana. They knew essentially no one was going B, and it turned out to be a delayed type of rush towards mid, and they just all rotated over, and it was an easy stack for Jumas to pick up that round.
We have B control, or an attempt to B control, walking into 3 defenders, which is an unfortunate stack. The moment they show themselves, that 4-man Irukandji could come back, but he is actually moving back toward A, so it amounts to nothing. And they're showing the pacing of the flashes is just 2 flashes. It could have been 1 player, and with the action here, they've realized that it's not 2. It's just about everybody. Still, the counter-terrorists win that battle. Shangers is looking the wrong way, gets shot in the back by desi, and the rest of the Ts are now left thinking that there's not a whole lot left to do. Either clutch or walk away sad and vanquished. 8-1.
And it's right now, Manajuma's completely outplaying compLexity as a team. Not as individuals, but we saw one player would come and make contact, kind of shoot a few bullets, get a kill. He would hide. His teammate would come around. We saw desi coming through spawn, getting a kill on someone else's back, and then peeking them from the side. Complexity is just, they don't know where to look right now. They're like, they had a full nade set. They didn't even smoke off spawn there. I have no idea what was going on in that situation, but we're seeing here Jumas taking mid control here. This is another going to be a devastating round. That's 3 kills already. This round's already over. It's an eco round, less, but
yeah, it is an eco round, and we don't celebrate these too often, but the drop into the pit to find anger is pretty nasty stuff. So 9-1. I almost feel as if Manajuma will control Banana, fall back to the site, and when they give up Banana, they almost bait seangers into telling his team into moving into bomb site B, and he seems to take that bait a lot. Now, we still see no op play on the field, and given that these set pieces aren't really working, these set wraps aren't really working, maybe it's time to go for that one scoped pick, that op pick and the ISO, and waiting for the rotates back and forth, but the economy's not really allowing for it, is it?
Exactly. I was going to say that. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what they need. They've, minikerr's playing aggressively in mid with those picks. If Garrus could counter pick him with an op, then that would be great. But like you said, economy, it's just not in the cards for him right now.
We got 2 already pushed down by Banana inside, or not the inside, but the other side of the smoke. It's a slow hold. And at this point, it looks like we've fallen back to the default. Truthfully, the default got them around, got complexity around, and they're going to see if it works again for them. But they're about to walk into a couple of traps, namely like desi waiting by logs.
a quick thing to point out right here is that Jumas has full banana control right now. Once the smokes start coming over A, there's going to be a quick flank and basically flashes and smokes coming down from A site onto those choke points. compLexity is walking to a trap right now. There's nothing they can do. They're dead in the waters right here.
Yeah, as soon as that fight starts happening, this becomes pretty much full-on deathmatch mode. Anger comes back around, will pre-fire the man at the moto side. minikerr is down. Here comes the rotate through from Irukandji, who is playing at the arch side. Trades one, then a trade back. Hiko takes dboorN off the field. They've planted, and they're a man up. And importantly, they smoke off moto. That could have been one of the best things that they did for themselves, as it kills off one of the retake positions. And Hiko waits at a very, very clever spot. An off angle inside the apartments, waiting for somebody to come in, and he absolutely blows away Irukandji. 2 left for Manajuma, and thankfully Steel was wrong, because we want this to be a game.
To be fair though, okay, for 2 things I want to point out while they're kind of chasing down Shroud and killing him, which they don't really have the economy to do. Jumas, they've got, they're 16k, they're maxed out. They could buy basically the rest of the half. They have so much, they've got such a big load. Like, they could blow their load every round, and they have so much money left over. compLexity, they don't have that much money to work with. They can't really afford to chase frags at the moment. Another thing to point out there is that Jumas played that so wrong. They had 2 players at the bottom of Banana. They knew it was an A hit, and yet they rotated safely back into B site, into CT spawn to B. They left port side wide open. They didn't smoke and flash the choke points. They didn't lock down the choke points. That's the major thing. They knew they were coming A. They didn't lock it down. Huge misplay by Jumas there.
It did cost them the round. Nice sliding pick, a crouching pick, as seangers' momentum carries him into the pillars, finds minikerr at the yellow car. 3 players from Manajuma are sitting in these apartments trying to get an early kill, and it seems as though they realize that they've been discovered, so they'll drop back out, move to the end of the apartments, and also, oh, you see his head. Did he get an arm shot off? Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Shroud is at 68, and unfortunate for seangers, because that was a clear kill. That was an easy one. We got about a minute left on the clock. No commitments yet. And we've seen Manajuma do this. Instead of guessing the sites and playing the retake game, they'll split into 2 teams of 2 to hold on to the sites. Here's the thing that I'm surprised. Oh, quick scope attempt, even with seangers with the after image in his eyes. dboorN's going to get an easy one right there. There's the trade. Nothing's gone. Even with the abilities that these guys have, they are content to fight in pairs. And compLexity is about to probably bunch up, overload, knowing that there can only be 2. If we go with 3, we'll have a numbers advantage. We'll leave 1 lurk, and I'll give you a huge guess as to who the lurk might be. It's Hiko. No cross yet, 20 seconds. The bomb is at the site, so they can get that plant down. Here it comes. We hope. Anger,
We'll have
please.
about 4 seconds left in the round.
Yep. Hiko's lurking, comes out and destroys dboorN. And Shroud will pick it up. Now it's a 1-on-2. We follow our last man standing Shroud, the number 3 man. He'll look for new box. It's a pretty standard spot, but nobody's actually there. Directly behind the fountain. Now he's at new box. You've got some money to work with here if you're Shroud. Not a whole lot, because you can't lose consecutive rounds in full back-to-back to back. But he can risk this retake. Shot from Emo, flicked, and incorrectly. It's going to be 9-3.
Yeah, and honestly, with the money that they have, it's absolutely an okay decision for Shroud to push there. Even if he loses, but he gets 1 or 2 kills there, that's a win in my books, like. It's just gonna kill the economy of complexity there. But complexity, like, they played that almost. It's so perfectly. I think it was like accidental. Like they were rotating back to B, and then they second guessed themselves. Like they had the perfect setup to hold B, and then they second guessed themselves because they looked at the time on the clock. They started running back to A, and that's when complexity walked into B. They had the B pressure, and then that's when we saw Hiko coming out and getting the flank kills. Like perfect. Like you couldn't have asked for better execution there.
Ooh, Anger takes 1 dink, but wins the battle with the window pusher. Irukandji's down. I showed the stream a second ago, and I invite you guys to do the same. Open the stat sheet, go to total damage dealt, and look at Irukandji. It's absurd how far above the curve he is. I'll do it one more time if you guys didn't see it there. This is
wow.
This is ridiculous. We'll flash in, and we'll look for a rotate over. Manajuma is taking the bait here, and the bomb is traveling back up banana. So inside the site is the defender who's going to discover that they're going to walk in. Sean Gares is going head to head. Oh, that's a footstep. Shroud has heard it. He's probably going to call for 1 to come back, and 2 flanking from that arch side will fight on while we stay with Shroud's perspective. It's 3 versus 3. Both teams have a severely wounded player, Shroud at 8 HP and Anger at 16, and the full rotate back will be running into the stronger of the 2 halves, or the 2 sites. Is that a spray through smoke? No, it wasn't. There's a crease in this smoke. Hiko sprays down dboorN to trade. 2 versus 2, still 2 weak complexity players, and minikerr stands up over the top of the box. Hiko has to know. There's the 1. Now it's Hiko versus 2. minikerr wins both battles, piercing headshots, both 10-3 is your score.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Jimas, they had a great hold there, but complexity did have a good read. They wanted to end up going B. Shroud had it smoked off. He was there by himself, so complexity had the right play. As soon as they kind of like made pressure and made a little bit of, you know, we want to go here, we want to go B. That's when Juma started rotating over to B, and then complexity full throttled back to A. Almost got to the site, but they botched their smoke on arch side. If that smoke landed properly and dboorN didn't get that entry kill, it would have been a 3v1 on that bomb site. They would have had better odds going into the clutch.
Sempus is sad. He is getting flashed, naded, spray out. Desi sees 1. He doesn't know 1's to him by the car. If he gets shot in the back, he needs his teammate to bail him out. It doesn't matter, because Sean Gares looks like he fired an entire CZ mag and whiffed on Desi, which is going to get him his swift kick in the butt, and he's off the field. 1 tap from Hiko, and a double 1-on-2. This is a winnable situation if he can cut Irukandji out fast. Now, if he recoils fast and he thinks that he's, unfortunately thinks that he's penned in, and it's a natural thing to think at this point in the game, but he could have made it back toward A. We'll follow Hiko for the rest of the round. It's our number 6. That sound is a giveaway, unfortunately.
Honestly, though, there's a minute to work with. It would be silly for Jumas to split up too much. Playing how they are right now is probably the best setup they're going to get. Hiko's probably going to guess 1's A, 1's B. Now, it's all on Hiko getting this kill. If he gets this kill, he wins the round. I'm just going to throw it out there right now. But he's got still close to 40 seconds to work with. So he's going to take this very slow, kind of peek every angle methodically, make sure that there's no possible angle that he can get killed from. He gets that kill. He's going to get the bomb plant at near the barbecue. Now, he can play this from one of 15 different angles, so this is really crucial play.
That's official math.
Straight up. Emo, try box, he can go banana, he can go over to spawn, go through construction to spawn. Once he knows where that nade came from.
dboorN's on the scene, actually. He's already made it to the site, and he's going to charge right in and decapitate Hiko.
Honestly, that was so poorly played by Hiko. Like, there was so many options, so many ways for him to play that, and dboorN kind of tried to isolate one spot. He's tried to smoke off. I think he tried to smoke the bomb, but ended up throwing it towards Emo. But Hiko could have been playing so many different angles. dboorN had no idea where he was.
I'm not even sure that Hiko was anticipating dboorN just barreling in like that. I thought Hiko thought he had more time that he could probably kite around. It never even occurred to him.
Either way, he saw where the nade came from, so he knew exactly where dboorN was coming from. He was either there or construction. And
even that angle, like, you could play more towards garden. You can spot the crack for a player to push in the site. There's so many options. There's so much room for you to kind of move around and win that clutch, to secure that clutch. And he didn't do that. It's almost as if he went AFK. Like, no, like, I don't know. Like, normally he would get that. Hiko, I would put in the position. I'd put my money on him winning that clutch 100 out of 100 times. But I don't know. That was poorly played.
Clearly, that 101st time has something to do with it, and they're going to double peek minikerr. And he comes back to the corner, still fighting. Irukandji will help from the port side, get traded by Anger. And at the final round of the half, we have a full-on melee. Hiko comes down to save his teammate. 3 versus 3, a smoke for Moto. minikerr is dropped back at Moto, and we'll have a bomb plant with 2-on-2. Both players from the CT retake team are coming from CT. 1 Arch, 1 Library. It's standard procedure. And they're going to dissuade Shroud from moving through that smoke and force both players to come through the lane or the porch or whatever you like to call it. And Hiko knows. Will he peek, though? Well, he might have to, because he's on fire by the blue truck. 1. Then Moto taken down. Finally, compLexity puts up that round that at least allows them to survive a pistol loss. It's 11-4 your halftime score. You're watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. With me is my partner Klops, and of course, the infamous Steel of iBuy Power. I liked that half, but I liked it only for Manajuma.
I think compLexity could have picked up a couple more rounds there. They lost that Hiko one. Like, even though it was a 4 versus 1, like, Hiko made 3 amazing kills there and then kind of flopped it right at the end. That would have been a huge round for compLexity there, closing the half at like a 5-10 deficit with no pistol round. That's a respectable half, to be honest. Like, once you get that pistol, it kind of closes the gap. And then you're going, what, 7 rounds on counter side?
It might have been 8-7.
Yeah, it could have been so close. So I think compLexity, they're not as far out of it as the scoreline shows. But if we actually do a rundown on the scores at the moment, we can see, like, most of compLexity are in the same field, like 6, 8, 4. Well, actually, no, they're really spread apart. Hiko's basically a one-man show at the moment. Sunfist putting nothing into the team at the moment. And on the other side, though, Manajuma, they've got a closer spread, 15-12, 18-12, 9. So it's all, you know, plus or minus, I guess, 5-ish from 12.
Yeah. Did we get an official word on this pause?
they're doing a 60-second break, but yeah, I mean, just, you know, also talking about it, that, you know, compLexity has some misplays. I mean, where they could have picked up a few rounds. I mean, so did Manajuma. In fact, 2 of the rounds that compLexity got was on Manajuma misplays. I mean, it could have gone either way of, you know, Manajuma having a bigger lead than they do now. So, but either way, I mean, both teams. I mean, Manajuma looked very strong on that side. So
that was a nice commercial pause. Welcome back for those of you who went to advertisement, and for those of you who are joining us again. It's the lower bracket finals in CEVO Season 4. It's Manajuma versus compLexity after a really strong start to this best-of-3 series. compLexity now has a chance to respond on the more advantageous side, we'll call it, of the CT side of DE Inferno. A shot right past desi's ear, and they'll try to respond by spraying back through the smoke, and Nothings has a cubby to hide in, so he'll get that chance. And he doesn't notice, desi doesn't notice, that there's a crease in that smoke as it dissipates. He walks away with the first kill of the round. Oh no! Ow. At least Shangers has this. Misses his second chance for the headshot. dboorN will trade after Irukandji's death. The bomb plant will be at bomb site B. It'll be 4 versus 3 on the retake. 2 T players are quarantined, stopped short in Banana, and are forced to come out to assist the team. That frag nade could have done easy work for minikerr. Instead, he's allowed to do a lot of damage, which may punish them if Shroud does the miraculous here. That's 2 smoke kills. Oh my god. Please, 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 please. Someone stop his rampage. And defuse. That's going to be a round win, and if you believe in the advantage of ecos anymore after CZs were implemented, you could probably guess there's probably 2 more after that. No, actually, there's a bomb plant. Just one more.
Bomb
Yeah.
plant, I would assume they're going to bomb third round.
Yep.
Wouldn't be surprised to see if we try to see them. I don't know if they're going to try to go for picks or if they're going to try to force a bomb plant somewhere. But that was a great play by Jumas. They got into B when Sean was in the most like abysmal spot ever. Sean was rotating towards A because all 5 of the Manajuma members were up at A at one point, and then Sean barely made it back to get a kill before just all the GMS members made it into the site. But with the numbers game, compLexity just made easy work of that round.
Did anyone get the sense with everybody in red HP and Shroud with the PC-50? I thought he was.
I was. Yeah,
I was terrified. Yeah, I'm like, please don't let this happen. Don't let this happen. There is 4 terrorists making their way up to the brackets and then moving toward the cubby or the arch side, and nothing is going to be the one who finds out exactly where they are. He'll throw a flash. It's not exactly a pop flash. It'll flash himself. It doesn't matter. He walks away with a couple of kills. Anger will join him on the other side with desi dropped. Actually, just 1 kill as a teammate that helped him pick that one up. So 2 left for the T's. They've dropped the bomb right in front of the library, and nothing will come for a cleanup kill there. Plus Anger. You know what? I've seen so many pop flashes. You could throw it on the roof of the library. You can pop it off the overhang that goes from the site and make it come back as a pop flash. I've never seen nothing just say, screw it, I'm throwing this flash like right at you guys.
Sometimes it's a good play because it either forces them to turn away or they just get blind. And when you just have a rifle and you're just going to spray, we saw Semphis was able to get himself on the scoreboard just by helping out Nothing there. So he got his 4th kill there. I mean, Nothing, it's not too uncommon to see people flashing themselves. We see players in Europe do it all the time, just peeking into their own flash, just because it's something that you don't really expect. You don't expect someone to peek into their own flash, where it catches people off guard from time to time.
Interesting. Interesting. I actually do that accidentally, and then I claim that I did it on purpose. So, there's that.
Well...
I should sign up to play with you guys. There's that! Also, because we're about to miss the action here, we're going to have a walk-in, and probably no flashes in. With nobody playing aggressively, and Manajuma doing enough scout work to figure this out, they've got a lot of leeway to work with. Actually, they could creep right up on Nothing after this flash. They can creep right up on Nothing, and be right next to him by the time he actually figures out anybody is there.
Semphis is peeking it quite a bit, so I think he'll be able to catch them if they do go for that.
Yeah, he's got a support right by him, and I guess the player inside the arch becomes the de facto support nearby. No players of Manajuma are controlling Banana, and we're not terribly surprised. They do like to go with their bunch pick, and they'll send one back, actually. Shroud is now doing his backwards reconnaissance.
Yeah, he's just scouting to make sure that compLexity hasn't taken Banana control and has a stack over at A. Now this is gonna, just his little bit of presence there is gonna open out Arch a tiny bit for them to work up, but we're gonna see the action going down right now.
Yeah, Semphis sprays 2 and then a 3rd, and suddenly after a pretty abysmal first half, he's got a bunch of good looking kills in the first couple of this. So minikerr's the last. Our number 1 is hightailing it, saying I got about 9 seconds to make it to T-spawn. But look at the minimap. It's not gonna be an easy save. I think
he'll get away with this.
Yeah, he'll get away with it because of how many twists and turns you have to make it in there. But he can hear him. He could have heard them.
And it was another good defensive hold by Nothing and Semphis over at Arch. I mean, they played that really well, supporting each other with pop flashes. And you saw actually Nothing kind of fell back to the speedway just in case they were going B, because it was such a long period of time before any movement was seen at A. So I mean, he was ready, but as soon as they came around the corner, Semphis just had to call for that pop flash, and they made short work of Jumas.
Okay, we have a single rifle and pistol setup for Manajuma. You've got armor on one guy, yeah, you've got a rifle. We ask this all the time to the players who come to cast with us. When you have a single weapon, maybe 2 weapons, or just one, how do you play this? Do you send that guy by himself, or do you follow him around and pick up his gun while he makes YOLO plays?
You want to definitely make sure that you recycle the weapon. You never want to just lose it and lose control of it. But you want that player, he's got armor, he's got an AK, you want him to just one-shot someone. You want to support him, where you can just basically fly around the corner and get the trade kill if possible. You always want to kind of use that weapon to kind of lead in. Unless you're doing like a save and he's got enough money for nades and smokes and flashes for the following round, where he's just going to be around to get the trade kills and kind of bait the rest of the team. he's going to be the one who wants to open up the map, kind of make a play somewhere, make an entrance. Like if he gets that kill onto Arch, his teammates can just fly up Arch, just standing next to him, just fly up there and take map control really quickly. That's basically the play that you're probably going to want to make, especially in CS:GO. It's so quick paced.
After a long time, compLexity actually is sitting on a pretty healthy economy, and they've got a big sigh of relief now, thinking we haven't experienced this at all yet in this series, so we've got some leeway to work with. How long, Clay, before we say the comeback is on?
I mean, if they win this round, I think that's going to force Jumas into a save, so I think that will be a good indicator.
The losing bonus of the 6-round losing bonus is pretty hefty. I mean, you could force, and Jumas is ready to buy rifles all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it would be working. I'd actually like to see minikerr pick up an op, but they'd have to do a double save to.
I think minikerr would like to see minikerr pick up an op. Anger waits by pit, and we'll have the first one directly above him. dboorN tries to rainbow down, and Anger's thinking, I might need to switch to my sidearm. I got 9 bullets. Can I make this happen? Yeah, he's got a double to his name, and it's looking pretty good. Down to a 2-on-2. Shroud is at 3 HP, and coL Hiko, 42. We'll have a retake flash on Gears. Though smoke can flash for Hiko if he wants to come back around the port side, and I think he's about to do it. Yeah, he does. Flash in, and also a charge in the site. You're going to get flicked, apparently. 1 versus 1, minikerr versus Hiko. They both know where the other is. Nobody can plant this bomb. This is a strange sort of standoff. You see this fight normally when the bomb's already planted. And he heard that jump. minikerr got spooked, looked back toward the apartments, and then was executed. Shot in the back, 11-9.
The problem with playing up against Hiko in a clutch situation is that he is the lurker. Like, there are only a couple lurkers out there like him. Swag, Get Right. Those are the two that come to my mind when I think of a lurker. You don't know where he's going to be coming from, but minikerr there kind of second-guessed himself. Like, he was going the right way. I think Hiko would have won it regardless if minikerr kept going on that approach or not, but I think minikerr should have gone straight to the site regardless, but if he had looked towards Spoiler, he might have actually had a chance.
So, did Semphis just peek without a support helping him?
Yeah, no, he likes to fly around sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know why he would do that when his team's coming back up. It's something that you do when you're kind of like down in numbers and you're kind of when you've got such a massive lead, but he doesn't have that lead. He shouldn't be flying around. That was a really bad play by him.
So he's off the field. Manajuma doesn't press their advantage immediately. They wait for any more mistakes to be made. Perhaps, Clay, they did the exact same thing that we did, and we started tabulating without accounting for the losing streak bonus, because we have a rifle buy now. And, yeah, we don't have helmets, but it's still a rifle buy, and Semphis ran right into it.
Yeah, exactly. That could be very well be the case.
Our number 8 man, Sean Gears, is on top of the logs firing single M4A1 bullets, and he gets spammed back. They ran through after him. He'll need to throw a flashbang behind him to buy himself some time. He does it intelligently, successfully, and he'll drop back to the site. 2-2 is a split, 1 arch, 1 porch, and then 1 CT, 1 fountain by the looks of it for the Sean Gears. The bomb moves back toward A. You know what? This, in a matter of seconds, is going to turn into the same strat that we saw a couple of rounds ago that blew up in Manajuma's face after the tight 2 versus 2 that we saw. But this time around, never mind. Never mind. Full rotate back toward B. Irukandji was still drawing his weapon as he got gunned down. dboorN's in, shot in the back. The CT smoke had not yet popped, and Hiko was there waiting for him. The bombs attempted to be planted. What was that? Good God. Hiko guessed perfectly where that player would be. It's happened to me. It literally happened. Okay. minikerr went on a last-minute berserk play right there. It literally happened to be out in the space between oranges and the fountain, and he still picked up the kill. Anyway, Semphis throws his life away. coL still wins it. Doesn't make sense.
I've no idea. I just don't understand what happened there. That was a great hold by compLexity. I think Manajuma, they kind of just like fell back right when they saw that Molotov, and I think they fell back into compLexity's trap there. Even though like compLexity, they had an uphill battle. They had a 4 versus 5 with Semphis just like running down and throwing there. I think Juma's kind of needed to take it a little bit more patiently. They kind of just like decide to make a rash decision to go from B to A back to B, I think that's what killed them there.
Yeah.
They needed to just like wait the molly out and then go A.
There was one critical kill that the millisecond before the smoke pops, Hiko was there spraying at desi's back. He got a kill there and made it so much easier for that retake to happen. We've got all 5 CT players alive, with desi off the field. That remains 5 players alive. It's all tied up. I don't know when it happened, but the comeback happened, and we're tied up.
Yeah,
What was my prediction?
I think you said 16-13.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah. I still want to see minikerr get a scope. I mean, it might be a little bit too late now that, you know, compLexity has won so many rounds in a row and Manajuma is falling behind so much, or, you know, not tied up now, obviously, but the way it's going, it looks like the compLexity is going to start taking the lead. But if minikerr can't get a scope and start getting some picks and spreading the defense of compLexity, I think they'd have a lot better shot here. I mean, that's essentially how compLexity started getting the last 2 rounds that they got on their T side.
Irukandji is the unfortunate recipient of a bunch of strobing, cascading frag nades. He gets taken out without really ever engaging anybody. Bomb's still here. They're smoked out. No commitments made. Yeah, it's not terribly too late for minikerr to pick up a scope. There are a lot of rounds to be had if this goes back and forth like we think it might. But viewers beware. Klopp's solution to anything as a career opper is buy ops.
Exactly.
No, I agree with you. On Inferno, I totally agree with you. There's a lot of applications for it. They've got a strong player to do it, and you can see that he's sitting on a Galil right now, maybe thinking that he could math his way into getting an op sometime soon.
The problem is that compLexity shuts down choke points so well, but we're going to see the push here.
Not a lot of bullets in that M4A1, Sean Gary, so you'll need a teammate to help you. Guess who's there? That's Hiko. Comes back out for the second spray down, picks up 1, tries to transfer and doesn't get it. So minikerr's the last. Has an AK now versus 3. Will try to force a bomb plant while being sprayed through smoke. He's going to turn this into an OK corral gunfight. We're okay with that. It adds to drama, and nothing wants nothing to do with that. 12-11. compLexity takes its first lead of the game.
And we can actually see Hiko's maxed out on money right there. He's not dying at all this half. So this is going to be a lot closer than people had anticipated after we saw the 11-4 scoreline at half. But again, like, we're not really seeing Juma taking much control of the map. They're just dying one by one, and it's complete opposite of what we saw in the first half. The first half, they just went fearless, took map control, pushed around, got the kills that they needed. Now they're kind of like running around, not really sure of what they want to do. They've lost the confidence that they had in the first 10 rounds of the first half.
Well, in the words that I could come up with, it would just sound convoluted. I'd rather use the lexicon that our audience uses. This is hard skins, hard life. I mean, I want this. I wanted this. I think your prediction's about to come true, Josh.
I bet on compLexity. Like, normally I would have bet on Manajuma. I bet on compLexity tonight.
Well, you seem informed. Like, you seem to know something about this map and something about them. What I guess our explanation is that when coL needs to make clutch plays, they do make clutch plays. We love this. It makes for great drama. 3 alive that are waiting inside of the hallway of the apartments, and they're not moving to that corner in case they get naded or pre-flashed, and they're going to run out of this smoke. We've seen this happen plenty of times in the European leagues. It sometimes works if Semfis doesn't do that to you guys. Shroud is the last one alive. Our number 3 man is getting sprayed from every which way. coL leads by 2 now. Looky here. You can still buy Manajuma. You're on a losing streak bonus, but nowhere in sight is a scoped weapon, and you're buying a little light when it comes to utility nades.
Yeah, minikerr's been buying everything he can each round, so I mean he's going to be far away from ever getting a scope. When we talked about getting a scope, Josh actually started saying something regarding compLexity and holding down choke position so well.
Yeah. So actually, because we brought Steel back into this conversation, Josh, we have.
Oh, hey.
Let's flip this script. Okay, you're Manajuma now. You're Irukandji. Yep. Something's gone really wrong. How do we fix it?
2 things we have to notice. One, compLexity's got so much money. They've got so many Molotovs. We can't do straight executes right now. They'll throw a Molotov at us. 2 things we can do. One is kind of just show ourselves, try to get a quick kill before the Molotovs go down, and then bait them out that way. The other way is to basically throw grenades, to bait it out, like throw smokes and flashes to bait out the Molotovs. Oh man, they're just getting picked off though. Like they're just standing around. One dice through. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh,
A team kill. Oh no, it all fell apart. Miniker's the
it's
last.
They're gonna have to do a save next round.
Yes, they will. I keep doing that. There is only the top end of 355 for the Jumas. And we're getting a force buy. Okay, well, you're not going to play for overtime anymore. We're going to go straight in for the guns. And I guess the purchase makes sense if you want to win it all. I like the gusto, but I don't see it happening. I'm defer to both of you. I don't like this.
I don't like it either. They needed to save this one. They're kind of forcing for the win. They needed to save to get full nades. Right now, we see two people who really have nades. That's one smoke grenade on the entire team. One smoke grenade, okay? They need to work picks. They haven't been working picks, though. They're dying. They're just dying. They're going to try a holes jump right here. And I don't know how well it's going to work. It's all up to number 4 if Irukandji can get that kill on nothing right there. But we see the rotation coming already. This is going to be just devastating for Manajuma right now. Like, Anger's in a good position. There's a triple stack on Arch. That's a quick rotation in A. Here we see it.
Hanger has 2 and sees one more, the intended bomb planter, and only minikerr remains, who seen that story before. Just last round, 15-11. compLexity now sits on the tie point where we had so little faith at the beginning. They're looking pretty damn good now.
They haven't won a single round this half. Manajuma. They lost every single round.
That's pretty much soul-crushing, yeah.
Yep. compLexity's 11-0.
This is sad times, Clay. Let's talk about what it means moving on here. You're not going to win this map. I jinxed it, but you shouldn't win this map. Moving on to map 2, you're going to have this conversation. How do you rally your team? What do you move on to? What do you focus on going forward?
Well, the first thing is you don't want to count this round out until the round's actually over. At this point, you can start probably counting it out, actually. What you want to do is you want to kind of focus on what was working well, what wasn't working. Even though it's a different map, it's a different environment, it's a different setting,